Thank you for joining this takeout. Yes, Surjoodeen, MD of HP. Uh, we are speaking today about the role of print, and not like print as in actual printings in the increasingly digital world. So, what role do you think print still does play in this ever more digital?
Hey, well, thanks very much for the opportunity and good to be talking to you all today. Print plays a very important role today's digital world, right, collectively. And I think there's a couple of different facets on where it can add value. I think it plays a vital role for us, definitely in the learning environment, but also still in the working environment, right? But more also importantly on communicating. And why do we say that? Well, there's been a couple of studies that have been done recently. The University of Valencia released a study says that overall, when you're having printed content, you're always getting perhaps maybe 6 to 8 times more comprehension done out of the digital format. So that plays a part when you talk about the learning side of things. If you look at the working environment and communicating environments, I think that also equitably is important. Even though digital workflows have risen substantially in the last couple of years, there's reports that show maybe up to only 11% of businesses are fully prepared and fully paperless in today's environment. So there's definitely a push with print pace in that segment. And I think additionally, print really also helps drive engagement, right, through personalized marketing. When you talk about custom packaging, customization of the content that you need to be able to put out, but also for your brand sales and your return on investment, print still has a very strong hold in that area. If you ask me about where it would really play in today's digital world, I think it's in those three areas: the learning, working, and communicating being the most important prevalent one. Yeah.
And how do you see the future of print evolving alongside the technology?
So the future of printing is very much connected, right, into what we see today as being topical issues, such as the advancements in AI and machine learning per se. So if we looked at the future of printing and how that involves, I'd say AI and machine learning will be a very, very key portion of that. As these technologies are rapidly evolving, right, we hope to see a lot more in simplification of processes, enhancement in collaboration between people, but also integrating print a little bit stronger into your creative workflows. So I think printing evolving will no longer just be a task, right? Today it's seen as a task. I think it'll become integral in the part on how businesses and individuals would need to communicate, collaborate, and also create, right? And in the print space, I think AI is definitely an area we need to unpack, right? We see AI as being a tool that is fueling creativity rather than replacing. Yeah? So that's important. And how does it work? Well, ultimately ensuring that it anticipates user needs a lot more effectively, and of course that it creates to enhancing productivity, but also the aspect of security. Right? We really see that AI helping us enhance security when it comes to printing portion of a day's work. And so, there will be definitely a demand for a lot more reliable, a lot more cost-effective, of course, printing solutions. And so with introductions of like our HP smart tank printers, we really look to extend that and try and address that cost-effective printing solutions with ink tank technology, right? And that's really a good current trend in technology, especially when it comes to an alternative for traditional cartridge-based printers. So I think ultimately more pages, lower cost, and making them ideal for frequent printing needs is really where we see that future evolving. Yeah.
So, like, HP is always like redefining the print experience for users. And you've spoken at length now about the productivity side and the resource management. But how is HP using AI to help enhance creativity and help users unlock their imagination?
I think it's important on users or customers, whichever way you want to define that, right? Their needs haven't changed, but our ability to deliver to those needs has improved significantly with this help of AI. So when we talk about redefining this print experience, AI will help power new print experiences just to treat and to be able to address productivity, creativity, and bring more magic into this printed page environment. So at HP, what we're doing is we've leveraged AI and machine learning, and really just to say, let's go and address the process, right? Can we make it more simpler? How can we make it seamless? And the second part of that is how can we use AI by integrating some capabilities into better understanding and adjusting in what we call contextual awareness, i.e., taking natural language processing, creating personalized printing experience, understanding the user and how they operate in their particular environment, irrespective, right? Whether it's from a setup point to get to a printing, a scanning, or even maintenance. And I think by having contextually aware printers, this takes a lot of the complexity and frustration so that you need very minimal effort for an individual printing to be able to still get to the perfect print and, of course, in record time. So what we'll do with HP AI Print is also simplify the support for each of our individual customers. We understand and we'll perhaps know in what environments they are. When we talk about intelligent technology, that's really what we want to try and do, is anticipate their need so that we can serve them better, effectively bringing the magic back to print.
I like that. It feels like society is losing their sense of wonder. And on that kind of note, how is HP adapting to the changing work environment in South Africa, especially with more like Gen Zs entering the workspace now? How is the company keeping up with that?
There's a couple of things. Let's talk a little bit about hybrid as an example. Hybrid work environments are definitely important. Our AI strategy is talking about, firstly, you got to do three things for us, pretty much. One, simplify the customer experience, right? We want them to be able to show that it's easy and simple and accessible to use. But with that, you also want to be sure that there's productivity and performance, because there's a lot of frustration with individuals working in certain environments, and they say, well, actually, I don't want to be able to have to stress with this. I feel that it's a function that needs to be better developed and make me more productive. Because if you're working in a home or an office, or even, let's call it remotely, right, you should have a similar experience. So what we've done with our cloud-connected solutions is ensure how do we maintain that consistency, no matter where you're located, because that's really ultimately what we talk about in a hybrid environment. And if we can bring a lot of their ideas into ways and tie it into a marketplace, as an example, would be a second part of that. That would mean that I could take effectively whatever I want to print and be able to use the marketplace to then deliver that print in different kind of formats. And that could be physical, let's say, platforms or in environments that you want to do it, not necessarily limited to just a piece of paper off a tray, right? And that's really what we want to do is firstly, imagine you can print anything. Can we create that experience for you? And can you do it from anywhere on any device? That's really ultimately what we want to try and address with the new hybrid world.
So you're looking at like cloud connected printing and those kinds.
Absolutely, yeah.
Okay. And then moving towards like just the small businesses, what can they gain from HP's solutions?
I think small businesses are important because primarily in South Africa, they're a very strong contributor to the economy. SMBs are the backbone of our economy, right? We've got to understand that not SMBs are alike. They have different needs that we need to tailor for their unique challenges. And especially because you're in a hybrid environment, like we said just earlier. So you can only then multiply that for an SMB saying, well, I don't have the infrastructure, I don't have the location, and perhaps I need to get the environment. So not only, I think first and foremost for the SMBs is about cost saving. You've got to be sure that you address the cost saving envelope for them. But the second part of it is, while they intend to be productive, is we cannot discount the responsibility for enhanced security in these varying challenges, because SMBs may not have the knowledge, the resources, or the infrastructure to help protect the security side of things, right? And so we've got to tie that into our product sets. And what I mean by that is that it doesn't matter if it's just a printer or a PC, our technology solutions need to focus on their growth without them having to worry and having us make some of those decisions for them. So it shouldn't really matter, right? With the solutions we have today should be able to scale overall, because as those SMB businesses grow, we need to be sure that irrespective whether you're a startup, a small business, a freelancer, or just in the established company, right? We all have the right tools to support them in their journey, and they trust the tech manufacturers to be able to take that decision for them.
Okay. And when the small businesses are growing, and they maybe get a location and start putting in infrastructure, is HP's print services flexible enough to have different people bring different devices and still connect?
Yes, absolutely. So I think it's being what we call contextually aware. We understand that different devices, an individual may want to print from different form factors, right? Form factors and different devices, as an example. Your ability to connect to your printer should be seamless. The cost of setup isn't just in the traditional way we see it as a PC. So I think, yes, we want to take the worry and the fear of connecting to devices into your environment, and the cloud connected solutions definitely help with that. And if it is seamless and it's easy to get to a printer, it's easier to be able to get access to a device very quickly, of course, in a secure, stable manner. And that's very important. Then yes, that's ultimately what we want to do, is not restrict people, because in a hybrid environment, it's really about being untethered, right? It's about not being tied to one particular point and having the ability to roam. So yes, absolutely. Yeah.
Okay. So you've covered like using AI, because obviously AI is a massive talking point right now, and I know it drives the markets quite a bit. And you guys at HP have invested quite heavily into implementing AI across, especially this product portfolio. So what specific other areas are you focusing on? So you've spoken about resource management. You've spoken about smart identification of like what the devices are connecting to it. What other areas are there?
So I think that there's also, AI. Let's talk about AI in the quadrant of productivity and simplicity. Let's assume we've taken the technical barriers of the setup and the hardware and getting into it. I think it's really about also collaborating with partners, right? As an HP, we're strong with that. Our connected ecosystem is really saying, well, how can we collaborate with different partners? Because we understand people print, but they may print using different applications and different generative AI tools that can turn this out. So I think that's where we're going to be focusing a lot of our effort into, because it's beyond just an everyday kind of printing where we say just print out a particular form. But I think that overall behind that, what we want to try and do is make that simple. So if you take an example of where we're printing potentially like an Excel spreadsheet, right? It's often that when you say, okay, well, get a print run on this one on my machine, you're going to get a page misalignment. You're going to get the table not fitted. And so we use the AI capabilities within the printers to be able to better understand that if this is being viewed on a screen, potentially there's some work that needs to be redone in the background. So the individuals don't have to go to the tedious environment of saying, well, it looked like X on screen, but it looks different on paper. And try and make that as seamless and quick. It's like just eliminating in unnecessary stuff, perhaps even ads. When you're looking at a particular web page and you've got a lot of ads coming in between all of you, and then you've got odd formatting web pages, you could literally pretty much click print, and on an HP printer, it's understanding that probably sure this individual doesn't see 16 ads popping up all over the sheet, and it removes that and it puts it into a much more clear, intuitive, easier way. So it's smarter print, it's more productive print, and it really is about unlocking those capabilities. We want to get to, reducing time, but also at the same time getting you the perfect print every time. Yeah.
Okay, that's cool. And so with all the, how do you see the future of print evolving?
I think it's a very important one, because I think AI will continuously push the envelope for us to continue to simplify process, right? And also collaboration. And it's not just printing, but it's part of a process in many other ways. Our AI-enabled features would range from just not the setup, but and optimization, like I've just mentioned. But I think we will see a lot more in terms of advanced creative tool, right, coming into our ecosystem. But ultimately, what we would see this enhancing and bring us in the future is to create fewer restrictions, seamless connection, multiple platforms, not only multiple devices. So it allows that to be more of an experience as opposed to a task, an output or an action that needs to be done. So there's a lot to be done. And as AI increases in capability and accessibility and having a lot of that together, I think you can only see a lot more coming in. On the flip side of it, if you're using AI and machine learning in terms of supporting and understanding what goes wrong, and we talk about maintenance, I think that's also an important part of, right? Understanding when things will fail before they fail with predictive analysis, being able to serve that need and demand before it actually happens so that you actually don't have any downtime, but also creates an insight into what you could do to actually improve your process. Because yes, at some point you may have service agents and issues where you need to update perhaps the consumables, but you may also have failures. So if we can predict them earlier, we can address them earlier, we can actually then divert any downtime when it comes to the printing technology. It's used both in SMB, but more importantly also in corporate environments. Because time is money and productivity are the key portion we should be looking at.
Yeah. Yeah. And then how have you been rolling this out with your partners who are front and center what they have those relationships with the customers? Have you been training them on the AI advancements? Have they been with HP on this journey?
Yeah, absolutely. There's been so many, let's say, investments from our sides. When I say as many, we've created a lot of. We've got our Amplify program, which is our partner program. Our Amplify partner program is the first in its class to offer AI training to our partners, which means today a partner maybe at the same point might say, "Ooh, I'm not sure about AI and how that translates to either me or my environment, or more importantly, how for me to have a conversation with my customer." Then let's put this tagline here. We want to make AI accessible to everyone, right? And in order to do that, it starts with training and availability of courses. So we've partnered both on PC and giving customers the opportunity to understand how that ecosystem works. Because yes, there's a printer, but there's also a PC behind it. So we want to now understand how AI can help me as a partner improve my business, and also have the platform for me to learn how to talk about it. So partners can access a training material, and they can get trained on the AI tools that we have, and also keep up to date on all the AI benefits we have that we will bring around. Now that's on the partner side, because the partner takes that to the customers or the end users. But in the end user environment, I think it leads into a second question for me on that, is that while AI is there and perhaps new to many partners, we're helping them be trained. I think AI has also been something we need to ask our end users how they're performing on it. And we've released a work relationship index report in 2024, where we try to understand what is the relationship of workers with their organizations. And while you will see that a lot of workers will say, "Hey, I'm actually unsure about AI," there's still a very high 68% of those workers are saying, "We think AI will bring benefit to me in my environment and help me enjoy my work better." So that's good, because then there's an interest and there's a demand. So yes, we have to do a lot as tech companies to bring the training, not only at the partner side, but also at the user environment, to say, well, it actually isn't something you should be fearful of. It's something you can adopt, because it's going to give you the ability to be customized. It's going to give you the choice for you to start becoming more productive. And we have to address that work-life balance, right? Because in a hybrid environment, I think that's one of the key things that we'll take out, is that that people are expected to do more, or maybe are doing more in a work environment, tough, and we do want them to have a healthy relationship with their organization.
Okay, and just from your perspective, because you've been in the game for a while now, how has the market changed, and are you excited for the direction that you're moving into in the future?
Oh, absolutely. I have to say, I'm more than excited about the market today, because it's interestingly, in South Africa, we have a really great, let's say, habit of being early adopters of tech. We've seen a lot of interest, a lot of demand in knowledge and questions and trainings that are going on about AI. We've got a lot in terms of the new technology that we have. And so we really want to quickly grasp that, because we're not afraid, right? We're early adopters in this market. So definitely there's a lot coming down the line in terms of products, in terms of the solutions, in terms of the offerings we can give, not just to our partners, but also to our customers. And that's the exciting part. That's really the side about what gives us this entrepreneurship spirit. Like, we're not afraid to try new things. And it's a perfect working environment, right? Especially when you're trying to bring new technologies and new ideas. People are excited to try them. People are excited to give it a try. Of course, there's always the concern, because we're also a little bit cautious when it comes to, well, what does that lead us to? Does it create more problems, or solve, some problems that create others? These are great discussions. But the great news is that we're brave, and in a community, we're open to have that discussion, and we have a great partnership and an ecosystem that also take some of the tough questions, right? Also about the ethics of AI, the ethics of how we're doing things. We're talking to both private and public customers on that. And that's a great part. I think with perhaps the biggest change that we've seen in the IT industry for a long time, with the adoption of AI and the capabilities of what our machines can do today, it's the best time to be. It's the best time to be in our industry.
That's incredible. And thank you very much for your time and explaining so carefully this new exciting direction that print is going in.
You're welcome. And thank you for the time as well.